Welcome, everyone, to ABN's coverage of the Winstel Cup Series Season 5. Races to go. We arrive to the breadbasket of the U.S. Kansas Speedway for a car tomorrow race set to be electric. Glad you're joining us here for a wonderful Sunday evening for racing. Kicking off the month of August in the right way. The celebration of speed here in the Winstel Cup Series campaign. The chase is on. It started last Sunday in Richmond Raceway. And it flipped some things upside down in that top 12 conversation. We'll talk about that in just a second, as well as what to expect here from Kansas Speedway tonight. Race 16 and 20 in this campaign. Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, J-Paw, Jake Potak, June. Huge shout out to them helping us on the Premier Tier side. Everyone on the Plus Tier side on the bottom of your screen. The ticker at the bottom has everyone's names that are subscribed to us on Patreon as well. Thank you all for your support. If you want your name shouted out here on our broadcast every week, QR code, or if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description down below. Can help you get started. We'd love to be able to feature you and include you in our broadcast, whether it's the ABN Plus tier, which is $5 a month, or the Premier tier, which is $10 a month. A lot of exclusives coming up here on Wednesday. ABN Unplugged, one of our podcasts that we're launching here. ABN Victory Lane on Friday as well. We cover all the stuff that happens in the world of ABN sports. We're glad that everyone has been involved with what we've put together so far, and we hope it continues in a massive way. Again, the QR code or the description down below can help you get started with all of that. Also, a huge shout out to one of our new partners, Advanced. They have been wonderful for us here since our 8-year anniversary on July 26th, last Sunday. They jumped on board with us here. Football season's around the corner. They've got licensed NFL shakers to go with the supplements here. You can save 10% off of everything on Advanced GG using the code ABN Studios. They've helped us out a ton with focus, with energy, with hydration, with sleep even, as we've been dealing with pancreatic cancer and the effects of that. Glad that they're on board. If they can help me, they can definitely help you all too. Check them out. Going into this event, Dylan Roberts. Points are not updated. Let's see if we can update those for you real quick. I do not believe they are updated, but Emily Howe leads by 10 points over Jacob Potak is how it actually stands right now. So this is not accurate. This is how the chase for the championship started. So a little bit of a difference there. But Emily Howe leads the points ahead of Potak, Michael Guest, Colin Keister. They're your top four in the conversation. Jose Solis Jr. in a lot of trouble. Did not do more than 10 laps in Richmond last week, which makes things very difficult for him going into tonight's event. So with no points left for us to cover, let's just jump into qualifying. Car on the racetrack at the moment. Michael Guest. Is this going to be a valid lap time for last week's race winner, Michael Guest? This is just starting the lap. So we'll ask if this lap counts. Ooh, that's close to the wall. Let it all hang out there. Cold tires, only one lap to set your best. We'll see what he can do. Right now, currently, it is Trupiano that was on pole. Now Potak on pole. 2 of the 4 involved in the finish in Richmond. Michael Guest only gets 16th fastest. Christina Ryan comes across the line. 22nd fastest, 30.863 for the 6-time ABN most popular driver. How about the HTL Daytona 500 winner? From back in May, Philip Snipes in the Blue Deuce for Penske Racing. Racetrack Philip Snipes. And he is waved off his qualifying run altogether. Corey Steinhauser did not set a valid lap time in Richmond. Was this a valid lap time? No, it was not. Bamboozled us once. We were on top of it this time. But he is going to run extra practice laps here. So, very helpful for him. Likewise, still running laps, Brandon McKissick. His initial lap not valid for qualifying. He has now run multiple laps here. Running in practice here. Did not race in Richmond. Running that big red, number 42. He will start into the back of the field here tonight. So 41 cars ready to go running. Almost a full field once again. 41 to 43 is impressive this late into the campaign. But it is Jacob Potak at the front of the field that will lead this to pole position. Andy Trupiano, Christian Budd, Lucas Davila, another great qualifying effort for the Argentinian. Colin Keister, Emily Howe. Your top 6 as we get ready to go racing here. So your full qualifying results as we get ready to go racing here in Kansas. Very similar to how it was in Richmond. 9 of the top 10 are all Chase drivers. It's Potak, the reigning champion, with pole position tonight. Trupiano almost got back-to-back poles. Was on pole position last week in Richmond. Will have to settle for second place. Christian Budd, third ahead of Lucas Davila. Great runs in qualifying for them. Colin Keister, once again putting himself in the conversation early here. Emily Howe, podium finisher, and the points leader right now going into this race in row 3 alongside. Cody Solis Jr., he needs a good run. Qualifying 7th is very conducive to that. He'll start alongside Tom Willett, who had a very rough race in Richmond last week. Bill Roberts and Gabriel Mauricio, your top 10 here to kick things off in Kansas. Craig Lautenslager, Jordan Barabee. That's your top 12. Row 6 for them. Nick Doucette, Parker Alexander, row 7. Dan Breckus and Colin Bowden in row 8. Sean Peleg and Brennan McGee, row 9. And Michael Guest, last week's race winner, starts down in row 10 alongside Evan Locke, who rounds out your top 20. Full look at the starting grid. Bottom of your screen, 41 cars to go over. From pole sitter Jacob Potak down to Colt Huff. Bottom of the screen. Get ready to go racing here in Kansas. We are glad you are with us for the Winstel Cup Series on ABN. Only 3 races this week. Today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. The HL Cup Series heads to Music City for a race at Nashville Super Speedway. Tomorrow night will be live 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Patreon and on YouTube. And the party continues in the HGL Challenger Series on Tuesday as they head to Michigan with those trucks. 2 races to go in that campaign. We'll see on Tuesday as well from the Great Lakes State. So it is almost time to go racing here in Kansas Speedway. We are so glad you're with us in Kansas Speedway. We're going to extend it a lap, it looks like, here to get everyone underway. Everyone getting themselves ready to go. And 41 drivers here. For the first time in a few weeks, we have Brandon Cruz on the racetrack. Glad to see him back running. He's starting this race in the 31st position. Looking to move forward in the number 20 car. Huge supporter of Winstel over the years. Huge supporter of ABN over the years. Welcome back, Brandon Cruz. I miss you. We're glad you're here. Everyone chomping at the bit, getting ready to go racing here in Kansas. The reigning, defending Winstel Cup Series champion, Jacob Potak, alongside Andy Cipriano at the front of the field. The pace car pulls in, and the Lifelock 400 is underway. We're racing in Kansas. Cipriano leads the opening lap here in Kansas. Used the outside lane to springboard around Jacob Potak, who has his hands full now with Christian Budd. Lucas Davlos falling back a few spots from 4th down to 6th. Got passed by Keister and by Howe. Christian Budd wants a chance at that race lead early. Didn't have his greatest race at Richmond. Wasn't terrible. But the people he needed to gain on, he couldn't. Cipriano in the same boat. Had a great first half of Richmond. Fell apart in the second. And here comes Colin Keister, the 12. Looking to get to the front early and often here in the Midwest. As they roll through the corners. Almost 3 wide. Potak had to really check out of it. Keister goes up to 2nd place. Christian Budd, new race leader, after Cipriano led the opening couple laps. Keister up to 2nd, Cipriano in 3rd, Potak 4th, and now you look at the top 10 single file. Really, he goes down to the top 12. Dan Brekus in the number 40 for Chip Ganassi Racing, sitting in 12th. Nick Doucette in 13th place. Sean Pellick in 14th, trying to get single file as well, trying to get ahead of Craig Lautenslager, but he's got his hands full of Michael Guess as well, who's also on the surge forward. Completely different race than what we saw in Richmond in so many ways. Everyone immediately trying to find a groove to get themselves rolling in. Keister right there on the bumper of Christian Budd. See what they can do at the front of the field here. Kotak has gotten around Trupiano for third. Emily Howe staying in the top 5 at the moment. Solis stays in 6th. Davila once again sliding backwards. This is Dylan Roberts challenging the 19 car here. Davila running really high up the racetrack, just trying to find a place where that 19 car is going to settle in. Progressive banking here at Kansas. We talked about it on Tuesday for the Challenger Series race. Not for Challenger Series. We talked about Thursday for the IndyCar race. We'll talk about Thursday. Progressive banking. Bottom lane of the racetrack is 17 degrees. That's where Tom Willett was just running, the number 6. Where Davila's been running is 20 degrees of banking. So a little bit more banking. It allows you to carry more speed at the top of the racetrack. Typically, that works out pretty well. It's not worked out for Davila, though, in this conversation. It worked out for Trupiano to get to the lead. Keister out in front. Kotak goes on through. Christian Budd has had to settle for third really quickly, and you see where Trupiano's at once again. Trying to close in and make that work, but he gets loose out of turn 2 and has to get out of the throttle. There's Solis Jr. running in the top 5 now. Got around Emily Howe and surging forward here, battling for 4th against Trupiano in that battle. Solis up to 4th. Trupiano in 5th. Howe and Roberts 6th and 7th right now. Davila outside lane against Tom Willett. Willett couldn't quite get clear. And Mauricio's got a pretty good shot in the house on this one. Sitting in that 10th spot at the moment. Right on board with the number 5 of Mauricio. So sitting in the 10th spot. Door to door, the Brazilian and the Argentinian. Talked about it last week. Good old Copa Libertadores rivalry. Side by side here once again. Both of them in the chase. Well, up near the fence. Mauricio on the white line here. And Davila's going to hold him off. And Davila gets to the bottom of the racetrack now. Just trying to find a place for that car to run. He's still struggling a little bit. He's lost 5 spots from 4th to 9th. So he is struggling here pretty early. Another car on the racetrack was down on the racetrack at Richmond. Logan Kress down in the 19th position, battling with Colin Bowden, who had a very rough race, was the first one out in Richmond a week ago. Logan Kress was not there. Mike Rasmus had a pretty quiet week in Richmond. Ryan Moyer also had a quiet week in Richmond. They're battling just inside the top 20 here. It is 16th to 20th. On your screen. Just behind them, a little more crazy behind Brendan McGee in 21st. 3 wide. Josh Chin stuck in traffic. With the 7 of Ryan Hill, the 33 of Evan Locke, 83 of Kyle Benson. All in this conversation. Christina Ryan's also in this conversation. A lot of squirreling between the Team Red Bull vehicles there. The 83 and the 84 of Ryan and Benson. Both of them were slideways out of turn 2. And it's held up Josh Chin significantly. If I'm not mistaken, Josh Chin is the furthest back chase driver right now. Ryan Hill up the racetrack in the fence. So Josh Chin gets 1 back. He's 24th. Huge battle up here at the front of the field. Behind Colin Keister, Potak, Solis, and Bud, your top 4. Emily Howe still 5th. Got around Trupiano a little bit ago. Trippiano in the 6th spot. Dylan Robertson 7th. Tom Willett scrapes the wall in 8th, giving space to Lucas Davila to come back and grab a spot. Good job so far from the Argentinian trying to recover. Slid down as low as 9th. Now back up into 8th ahead of Willett. With Mauricio still in the top 10, Jordan Barabee in 11th. Early pit stop for Brandon Cruz. He's the first car to make a pit stop here in this race on lap 16. See if that's a normal pit stop for him. As the leaders come on around turns 3 and 4 now. Kotak right there to challenge Colin Keister. Standard pit stop there for Cruz. A little bit long in the box, 15 seconds in pit lane compared to the 15 we normally see. But a standard pit stop, nothing really to report there for the number 20. He's back out and away, so first pit stop completed. And that is car 20. Solis under threat from Christian Budd for 3rd. But Solis using the outside lane. I think the outside lane is coming too pretty well for some. Kotak believes he trusts in the inside lane right now. Colin Keister slides to the racetrack using the outer lane. If you've saved your tires at this point, you might be set up pretty for the next 10, 15 laps. We'll see, though, how that plays out. And a lot of cars coming down pit lane. No, caution. Caution, Eli Sasek. A lot of damage on the 71. So what has happened to Eli Sasek to set things in motion here? Car in the fence, Corey Cook. I don't think a factor in this. They're putting 3 wide. Chris Champeau, the 22. That's Tyler Murray in the outside lane. Just a little bit of contact there as Sasek tries to rejoin the racetrack. I think Corey Cook's going to get involved in this. He's got the brakes locked up. Yeah, gets a piece of it. So 3 cars involved. Pretty good look at how that started, though, with Eli Sasek involved, as is Corey Cook and Chris Champeau. So everyone comes down pit lane this time. Brandon Cruz, who just came down pit lane in this exchange, will get a lap back. We'll get the free pass. So Cruz comes down pit lane, gets back on lead lap here, and also gets to make a pit stop to get back on the same sequence as everybody else, and will do so. Colin Keister back out in front. Pit stops made by the full field for the first time here on lap 19. Here's how some of your top runners look right now. Colin Keister, Jacob Protek, Jose Solis Jr., Christian Budd, Emily Howe, your top 5 coming to this restart to end lap 21. Just outside the top 10, Trippiano, Davila, Willett, Roberts, Barabee, your top 10. And for that on the order, Mauricio, Christina Ryan, my guest, moving forward in the pit stop sequence. Nick Doucette, Sean Peleg, your top 15. Your top half, Parker Alexander, Mike Rasmus, Ryan Moyer, Josh Chin down in 19th place. Brennan McGee in 20th is how things are shaping up there right now. Dan Breckus, Evan Locke, Logan Kress, Ryan Hill, Kyle Benson, your top 25, your top 30. Craig Lautenslager, Tyler Murray, Alex Bates, Philip Snipes, and James Grantham in 30th. Brandon Coppinger, Zach Tyndall, Brendan McKissick, Colin Bowden, Eli Sasek, your top 35, and your last 5 running, Corey Cook, Chris Champeau, Brandon Cruz, Corey Steinhauser, and Ken Huff. Ready to roll here for this first restart in Kansas. Single file. Everyone on the lead lap that was needing to be. Until the green flag flies. Let's go back racing. Enough leaving pit lane, going a lap down here. Staying out of the way of the field as we run right now. Side by side for the race lead. Keister surviving the opening lap onslaught from Jacob Potak. But Solis now in the mix. See what he can do. He surged forward to get up into the top 5. We'll lose a spot here to Christian Budd. Still a little further back. Roberts and Mauricio side by side. Roberts in the 8, Mauricio in the 5. Michael Guest, last week's race winner, now in the top 10 as well in that 46 car. Ahead of Jordan Barabee, who's lost 2 spots. Let's also lost a couple spots there from the restart on lap 22. 48 on the surge forward. Sean Peleg, the Michigander, trying to get into the top 10 once again. Did not have the greatest run at Richmond. Fell apart late for him in Virginia a week ago. He is someone else who also needs to really bring some points back in here in the chase. Sasek back down pit lane. I think this might be race done for the number 71 involved in that opening caution on lap 18. We will see. He's on pit lane, getting more repair work done. Not where he wanted to be. We'll shrug that off before tomorrow's race in Nashville for the HTL Cup Series. Side by side, Peleg and Barabee. Ahead of Willett, ahead of Parker Alexander, the 44, that UPS machine. And Mike Rasmus sitting in the 78 car. Almost said 78 truck. Tuesday still in the brain. Peleg gets clear of Barabee, who has a little bit more latency issues there. We've seen that throughout the race so far from the 47. There's enough hesitation for Tom Willett, and allows Barabee to stay clear for that position. Here comes Alexander. 14th place for him right now. And Erasmus ahead of Doucette in the 15. Josh Chin at 17th place in that 60 car. Ryan Moyer, Logan Kress, and Evan Locke rounding out your top 20 at the moment. Ahead of Brennan McGee, Dan Breckus, and Kyle Benson. Biggest mover so far by necessity has been Josh Chin, up 21 spots from where he started this race. Started this race down in the back 5. And is now sitting in the 16th position, trying to hold on to that ahead of Nick Doucette there. 3 wide, and Mike Rasmus had to really back out of it. So give one more spot to just about everyone in that conversation. Very uncomfortable moment there for Mike Rasmus. An issue for Jordan Barabee. I believe that is latency related. That is network related. A technical failure for the 47. I believe that's day done for Barabee. Not quite day done, it looks like, but not going to be great. Eli Sasik's day officially is over. 23 laps completed for Eli Sasik. He will be classified as 40th and last in this competition tonight. And he will begin that trek to Nashville a little bit early. Side by side, Potak and Keister. Potak trying to get the race lead away from the 12. These two battled a lot in Richmond last week. Battling again here. Potak gets clear. Out in front is the 24, the reigning champion of the series. They run the outside lane. Christian Budd says, I'll take the cleaner at the bottom of the racetrack. Thank you very much. And now it's a 5-car group. Batting for the race lead with Emily Howe and Posey Solis Jr. also in the mix. Not far away. If any of these 5 have a hiccup, Lucas Davlos back up into 6th. Caution is out. Further back, once again, Champeau's involved again. But he's not alone. Dan Breckus also involved. He just pulled himself off the back stretch infield wall. Brendan McGee also involved in that. So it looks like it might be more effective against the 9 and the 40 in this conversation. Let's see what happens. Down in 35th place for Brendan McGee. Started this race 23rd. So we'll take a look here. Breckus in the 40, just behind McGee here in the 9. Brendan McGee, center of your screen, that red and white card. Breckus drifts up the racetrack. Yeah, that'll do it. Just tag of the quarter panel of the 9 sends them both careening towards the infield wall. And that'll do it. No Champeau involvement there. Champeau involved in a different issue, though. We'll have to take a look at here. Yeah, here's what happened to Champeau. Oh, he bounces off of Corey Cook. Tries to save it, bounces off of Grantham. So the 2 of the 3 involved in the first caution on lap 18 involved in this one too. So these 2 incidents happened simultaneously to each other. And for Chris Champeau, can't catch break. So repairs being done for several drivers in this field. Second caution of the night. And a huge shout out to Advance, one of our newest partners here on ABN, for being part of our conversation as cars come down pit lane. And recycle the race lead. It'll be Tom Millette, head of Potak and Keister here for this, but Advance has helped us out a ton over the last couple of months as far as dealing with the effects of pancreatic cancer treatment and everything that goes with that. Partner along with them because they can help you all too. Whether it's help with whether it's needing energy, needing focus, just boosting your hydration, getting extra sleep. They got a little bit of everything for everyone. We just got our sports shaker in. We're obviously Cincinnati base, big Bengals fans here. Just got our sports shaker in over the weekend. NFL season starts up very quickly. All 32 licensed NFL teams available to order. And ABN Studios, that 10% off code applies to that as well. Go check them out. We're glad they're on board with us. They can be on board with you as well as we get ready to go racing for the second restart tonight. Samulet will lead the way, having not made a pit stop here. Actually, only did fuel only on that pit stop to jump forward. Everyone else took tires, it looks like, except for Cruz. Brandon Cruz, fuel only as well. So only 2 on the fuel only idea here as we get ready to go back racing. Willett leads for the first time on a restart and wheel spins immediately. Tried it out, looked to see if it would work. Lost the lead, lost second in the opening couple corners, and a little bit of latency for Tom Willette's going to spook Christian Budd. He's also trying to get by because he knows he can hang with that top 2. Kotek out in front. Kieser wants a piece of the lead again as well. Kotek stays out in front here. Coming to lap 38. A little bit of separation is killer in the top 3. Had to step away for a second, and we mistimed a crash with Dylan Roberts here. A lot of damage from the 8 car. I stepped away for a quick moment. Had a little bit of emergency up here in the broadcast booth. But Dylan Roberts in trouble, and here's why. The third caution of the night is out here at the halfway point. Car 8, bottom of your screen. Does he get tagged by the 19? Looks like he comes down into the door of the 19 of Davila, and then gets turned all the way around by Michael Guest, and everyone has to take avoiding action here. See if we can get a better angle of how that came to be. Thankfully, no one else hit him. And so this is not the Dylan Roberts. There's the Dylan Roberts. So let's try that again. So this is Dylan Roberts in the 8. Yeah, he just comes off the wall into the path of Davila, who's hoarding his line. Be on the 8 more than anybody there, and he's the one that eats the worst of it. Caution is out. Roberts will get some repair work done on the front of that car. Top 17 all stayed out here. So Potak out in front. Colin Keiser in second still. Christian Budd in third now. Tom Willett still on that tire-only strategy. Had a chance to bail out of it and has elected not to. He's sitting in fifth right now. He lost 4 spots on that last restart. Second half of this race set to be underway when we go back racing. Solis in 6th, Trupiano in 7th, Michael Guest in 8th, Lucas Davila still in the top 10, sitting 9th. Sean Pelleg is back up in the top 10, sitting in 10th. Nick Doucette in 11th. A little bit further back, Josh Chen still on the climb up. He is in 18th place. He has not had a fun time in this race so far. Just trying to break through. He's now joined by Mauricio, who came down pit lane on lap 39 here on this caution to get a reset. So a bit of an offset on the tires now between the first half and the second half of the field. We're back underway, though. Third caution, third restart now underway. Well, very slow to fire off here. 3 wide at a turn 2. And Willett goes top to bottom of the racetrack. I think mostly just infuriating the 4 chase drivers behind him at this point. Solis got through, though. So the 5 Musketeers in this race are now back together. And Michael Guest, a little bit of a hip check there on the 6, letting him know what he thought about it. Not surprised in the slightest there. Trupiano keeping himself a little more distant. Potak working with Trupiano because they both know that they're faster. They got better tires than the 6. Davila also working the inside lane. F1 trying to scramble to get around Willett here on the outside lane. Bowden, the 04. Very top shelf for the 04. Up in the fence. Evan Locke put him up there. Bit sketchy. A bit rough there. Davila sliding back. I think he just has a very long run car. That 19 car does great longer into the runs. Was able to get some of those spots back, but just fires off super slow right now. Now out of the top 10. And in danger of losing more. Let in 9th, goes to the bottom of the racetrack here. Soaring into turns 1 and 2 here. Up close to the front, Keiser trying to find a way around Potak while also trying to keep Christian Budd and Emily Howe at bay. Easier said than done. Solis. Looking around Emily Howe. Looking at Michael Guest as well. Top 3, all 3 different lanes for a moment. Keiser gets to the quarter panel of the 24 of Potak. They sail in the turns 3 and 4 here. Just a little bit more off the bottom of the racetrack and pursue that race lead. Guest up to 4th, up 15 spots from where he started this race. Started this race in row 10. Now sitting up in the top 5 ahead of Solus. Emily Howell down to 6th. Ahead of Tripiano, though. I like a little bit loose out of turn 2. Stays in the top 10, though, ahead of Doucette. And Tom Willett has lost another spot to the 15. Ryan Moyer now in the conversation. Lucas Davila is in a lot of trouble now. Under threat from Bowden, Rasmus, and Ryan Hill, as after already losing spots to Josh Chin and Ryan Moyer. Everyone really struggling on the back straightaway out of turn 2. A lot of cars tagging the fence. Kyle Benson around Ryan Hill. He just swept around him. Kisick also trying to work forward here as well, the 42. Davila up outside fence, top shelf once again, trying to hold on to positions here. It's a blockade of 5. And trouble! Trouble! Moyer gets turned. 4th caution tonight, and this one's a bigger one. Moyer, Davila, and others involved here. 4th caution, less than 30 to go. Just outside the top 10 here. So let's take a look at what happened here. We're going to need a better angle of this. Let's go to our chopper cam here. So this is going to give us probably the best look in the house here as far as how this played out. So the 2 in front, side by side, Ryan Moore, the 31, Josh Chin, the 60 here. Davila in the 19. Colin Bowden in the 04. Into the very far left-hand side of that 3 wide situation, Mike Rasmus, 78. Quarter speed, slow motion. But what happens? Chin gets loose out of turn 2. You see him skew sideways. Moyer does a little bit as well. Davila just tries to come off the fence here. Takes a little too much room. Not quite clear of Colin Bowden. Josh Chin gets very lucky. Ryan Moyer and others do not. Gets hit by Kyle Benson. Gets lifted off the ground and into the air by Kyle Benson. Everyone else scrambles. Christina Ryan goes for a scramble. So does Dan Breckus. Gabriel Mauricio goes for a bit of a scramble. And somehow, Ryan Moyer doesn't get any worse treatment there off of that. Let's see what he saw out of this. Got a couple others. Grab Davila. Christina Ryan's on board here because this was a wild avoiding action. Pretty good job staying out of that one. How about our teammate Kyle Benson? Not so lucky on this one for the A3. Not a whole lot you can do there. You see the crash spreading to the left. You just kind of keep right and hope for the best, and didn't quite work up the 83 the same way. Dan Breck has stayed out. Bold call for the 40. He last pit on lap 50 on lap 39. We are now on lap 55. So this is going to be rough, and everyone knows it. Green flag is in the air. Away we go. Yeah, there's no way that was reasonably going to actually work. Ryan Hill fueling on his stop got really left behind there on that. Michael Guest, though, quickly going for the race lead on Potak. Jumbled upfield. Some cars took fuel only. Most took tires, but they're jumbled up in the field now. Potak stays in the race lead, but Michael Guest is there. Christian Bud clear for third, Solis for fourth. Ryan Hill, fuel only in fifth at the moment, trying to hold off Trupiano. Emily Howe also in that mix once again. Sean Pellig, the 48, also in the conversation, as is Nick Doucette and Josh Chin. Logan Crest, fuel only on him in the 37. He's dropping backwards. Tom Willett back on the right strategy call. He's on 4 tires and moving forward. Dan Breckus in 3 laps shuffled from the lead of the race outside the top 20. That is how quickly things move here in Winstel. $19 to go. Battle for the midfield is pretty tight. Michael Guest out in front now in this race lead. Looking to go back-to-back here. Kick off the chase to the Winstel Cup. Only won 1 race going in. That was the Cook 600 in Charlotte. Back in the spring. Won Richmond a week ago. Now leading here in Kansas, trying to go and make it 2 for 2 and 3 on the season. Jacob Potak trying to chase him down. Tags the wall in the turn 1 and 2 there. Christian Budd sitting there with him as well in third. Solis. Gonna see if he can surge forward in the next 18 laps here. Ryan Hill holding on to the top 5. Emily Howe in 6th. Trupiano and Pellig is sitting 7th and 8th. Pellig trying to do what he can in the inside lane. Trupiano holding him off on the outside. Josh Chin, top 10. We'll see how this stuff plays out as the race goes on. Doucette moving forward on Bowden. The fringe of the top 10 right now, which also has Tom Willett and Brandon McKissick in it. Michael Guest leads the way. 0.3 is the gap. More cars coming down pit lane I've noticed here with the last few laps. Davila in. Bates is in. Snipes, Mauricio, Breckus, Rasmus are all in. Have all come down pit lane recently here. Are they not able to make it to the end of the race from lap 53? Probably not. Now I think about it, probably not. So pit stops might be a factor. Josh Shin is in. They definitely can. They definitely have to come in and make one more stop. Because Josh Shin just gave up a top 10 running spot to come down pit lane. So he definitely had to come down pit lane. I would assume everyone does. Solis up to third around Christian Budd. So we have money stops left to make here. Interesting. Very interesting to see how this is going to play out now. Car in, Christian Budd from the top 4. He drops down to pit lane, coming to 13 to go. Kotak right there, challenging the 46. And Solis is right there as well. Solis' worst enemy is green flag pit stops, but he just might have a chance here. I like the 17 undercutting here. I do. The 17 undercutting might be the right call. Top 3 all stay out, but they are all 3 closely tied together. A couple more come down pit lane. Willett and Ryan Hill this time come down pit lane. The issue is that if you have a caution right now, everyone that's pitting will be trapped a lap down. That's why they're staying out as long as possible. You're hoping for a caution so you don't have to make that green flag pit stop. Kotak really loose out of turn 2, still fighting under the power. Solis goes to second. How about Michael Guest? Nope. Top 2 stay out. Kotak in. Writing was on the wall there for the 24. The 46 and the 29 stay out. Toyota versus Chevrolet here, coming to what will be 10 laps to go next time by. Kotak, Bowden, Roberts. Here comes Michael Guest down pit lane. So Solis out in front. And on his own. With 10 laps to go. Tripiano in second. McKissick in third. Holding off Sean Pellig. Emily Howe in fifth. Logan Kress in sixth. James Grantham in seventh. Being passed by a whole bunch of cars that have just come down pit lane. Brandon Coppinger sitting in ninth and eighth. Christina Ryan in ninth. Pit stops incoming for any of them. For the 48 of Pellig, yes. Everyone else, no. Mark Alexander will move up to ninth. With 9 to go, is there a fuel save strategy in play here? Like what we've seen the last week. We'll see if that's the case. Kotak trying to do what he can. Lost the spot to Christian Budd. You saw in the background there. There's Kotak. Right there's Christian Budd. Keister also couldn't quite get through. So they're hoping that these cars that are staying out right now can't make it. Because they've got a pretty sizable advantage with 8 laps to go to try to do so. 8 to go. Solis And I'd like to point out that the fuel cells here in the Winstel Cup Series are remarkably smaller than the HTL Cup Series that we saw for the Brickyard 400 on Monday. So fuel save is quite a bit harder to make happen. But we've seen it happen before. We've seen it done before. Homestead, a couple seasons ago. The entire top 10 did enough to save and threw the field upside down to do so. Solis won that race. So, coincidence? I think not. He's running with 6 to go here. The more cars in front of him, the more draft he's going to have to coast through on the straightaways here. I don't dislike the call. They're just pushing because they've got to at this point. Your bet is made, you're going to lay in it. I think that is Solis indicating that he is coming down pit lane this time. Forcing Keister and Guest to go topside, and I think the 29 is 6 laps short. He is. Coming down pit lane this time is Solis, the 29. Trupiano also down pit lane this time. McKissick will inherit the race lead. Logan Crest down pit lane this go around. So McKissick leads. Emily Howell will inherit second place. Coppinger inherits third. Christina Ryan, very familiar with the fuel safe game as well, in fourth. And I think she tried to make a pit stop and missed. We'll see. But she's in fourth right now, about 4.6 ahead of Parker Alexander, who sits in the top 5 now. And if you're going to fuel save, you've got a little bit of space to do so, but it's not much. McKissick in this time. How about Emily Howell? Emily Howell stays out, coming to 4 to go. And she is fuel saving, massively fuel saving here. Coppinger just got around. Didn't pay attention. I thought that was Rasmus for a second. Then I saw Rasmus just go through. Coppinger is on a sprint here because he's coming down pit lane. He couldn't make it. Couldn't even try to make it. The additional 3 laps. How about Emily Howell? Emily Howell going to try to. Christina Ryan goes to the front with 3 to go. What is happening right now? Christina Ryan gets around Emily Howell, who's on a fuel save. We think Christina is on a fuel save as well. Parker Alexander also still rolling on the racetrack. 6 seconds clear, coming to 2 to go. Can Christina Ryan make it? This would be her first Winstel win if she can. 3 miles. Can she save 3 miles? Has she already saved 3 miles of fuel? Oh my goodness. We talk about career years. For her and Winstel, this year was already a career year. Multiple top 10s, multiple top 5s. And she has the catbird seat. Emily Howell could not make it. Had to come down pit lane. We're coming to the white flag. This is the last lap. 1 to go in Kansas. 8 seconds to Guest. About 4 seconds to Parker Alexander. They took an extra lap of fuel. They came back down pit lane on lap 54. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Through 3 and 4, years in the making. Christina Ryan's gonna break through and become a Winstel Cup Series race winner. She wins at Kansas. She's done it. Alexander saves enough fuel. Podium for the 44. And Michael Guest on the full push strategy can only hope for third. A crowning moment in Winstel for Christina Ryan. She wins at Kansas. The same track where 4 years ago she was crowned ABN World Champion in the Champ Car World Series. It comes around good again, this time in the Winstel Cup Series. Victorious here for the first time in her career. Almost 125 starts. Is there enough for a small burnout for the 84 in the Red Bull car? I don't think she's got enough fuel to do anything. But she's parked in the front straightaway, and she gets to soak this one in. What a moment. We talked to her in HTL a whole bunch. She loathes the fuel save races. But in HTL, she's gotten a lot of practice in all of them. A race win for the first time. And a huge shout out Parker Alexander, also making the fuel save work that no one else could. Michael Guest, Jacob Potzak, Christian Budd, having to bear witness to the spoiler the top two just put on. What a drive. My goodness. Something about Kansas Speedway just works out for Christina Ryan in a way that it doesn't work for many others. Race results, center of your screen here from Kansas Speedway. We'll talk to your opponent finishers in just a second. We'll talk to Guest, Alexander, and Ryan. Toyotas sweep the top three. Jacob Potzak in fourth, Christian Budd fifth, Colin Keister sixth, Colin Bowden in seventh. Then you have the eighth place car, Sean Pellig in the 48, finishing top 10, recovering from the Richmond disaster a week ago. Jose Solis Jr. top 10 as well for him after DNFing early in Richmond last week. Dylan Roberts top 10 after spinning earlier in this race to round out the top 10 there in the number 8. Not a bad rebound for them either. Outside the top 10, Tom Willett, Josh Chen, Evan Locke, Ryan Hill, Alex Bates, your top 15 here in Kansas. Chris Champeau, Lucas Davila, Craig Lautenslager, Brandon McKissick, Tyler Murray, your top 20 in a topsy-turvy race here in the Midwest. Brendan McGee, Andy Schupiano, Ryan Moyer, Nick Doucette, and Gabriel Mauricio, all of them caught out by the fuel strategies here. Brandon Cruz, 26th on his return to the Winstel Cup Series field. A great race for him, keeping that car on the racetrack, on the lead lap as well. A great job all the way through. Philip Snipes, Logan Kress, Zach Tyndall, and Kyle Benson, your top 30 here tonight. Corey Steinhauser, Brandon Coppinger, in entering this race as the points leader. Emily Howell will not be points leader leaving. 33rd, could not make the fuel safe strategy work, had to come down pit lane, ends up outside the top 30 here in a rough turn of form. Dan Breckus in 34th, Ken Huff, James Grantham, Mike Rasmus, and then 3 retirements, Corey Cook, Jordan Barabee, Eli Sasek, rounding out the field of 40 cars here in Kansas. Let's go ahead and talk to the drivers of the hour here from Kansas Speedway. It was a strategy call all the way through, and Michael Guest, it almost worked out. Third place after winning in Richmond. Best chase driver in this race once again. Walk us through from your perspective. That was a very difficult race tonight, that was for sure, and just kind of walk us through how it all kind of played out for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun race. I'm glad we had some green flag runs, especially to finish out the race there, even if it didn't go my way as far as strategy goes. Always fun to have green flag racing. So, yeah, the race itself was pretty good. The problem was that it felt like the tires got a little bit, I don't know if they were overheated or what it was, but you could really use the grip in the tire to make runs on people the first 5 laps. So I really tried to take advantage of that. Get my track position while I could, and then the rest of the run was more not burning your stuff up, taking opportunities when they came. If someone tried to run the bottom or even the top side, the lane opened up for you. But it was pretty hard after lap 5. So starting 19th, a lot of it was just positioning for me. The cautions fell not in a great time for me because I was really hoping we got some green flag pit stops to actually move my track position up a little bit, but really, I would say after halfway, things really started to click there, and definitely got up to the front off of one of those restarts, used that grip, and I feel like from there on, I was really hoping that, of course, those people are going to run out. Congrats to Christina for being able to save that. I was really tempted to try to save myself, but I felt like for my strategy, I'm trying to make sure I don't put myself in a position to get wrecked or anything. So I was trying to keep myself at the front of the field, but congrats to those that made it. Yeah, had a lot of fun.
Points leader after 2 races in the chase. I can go ahead and kind of make that official. Colin Keister not in range with you there, a couple spots back. Emily Howell, obviously, couldn't make it either. Had to divot late, ended up finishing 33rd. And Jacob Potak just behind you, also in that conversation. So it's a very close battle there in that top 4 in the chase. We head to Michigan next week. What's the feeling going into that race? It's going to be even more wide open than we were here at Kansas. We had a lot of speed here in the Midwest, and we get to keep it up and go even faster next week.
Yeah, of course. Impressive that Colin was able to get back up there after a speeding penalty on that last stop, but he finished 6th there. So great recovery for him. I had a really, fun time battling Potak and Christian at the end there. I feel like, us guys that are up front at the end of these races are giving each other some really hard battles. And like I said, it was so tough to pass tonight, but I'm glad we were able to get some clean racing in. So, hopefully more of the same in the upcoming weeks. Good tracks for passing, even if the car doesn't necessarily allow it sometimes. I would say we're definitely making the most of it. So as long as I can keep out of the crashes next week, I'm hoping for the best. That's part of the reason too. I'm not too disappointed that I finished 3rd. I feel like most of the chase competition either was on the same strategy as me or either just couldn't make it to the end. So yeah, no complaints here. Looking forward to Michigan.
A phenomenal job here for the 46 camp. Once again, top 3, competitive all night long as you surge from 19th to get that podium finish. Before we let you go and let you get ready for the week ahead, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the effort tonight.
Yeah, of course, you all for broadcasting, Winstel for putting the league on, and then just my buddies Colin Keister and Colin Bowden for racing with me in a voice channel. Have a lot of fun racing the series.
A lot of fun. Michael Guest in the championship conversation. Well and truly here. 3rd place tonight in Kansas after a win in Richmond a week ago. We'll see him again in Michigan in 7 days' time. Michael, congratulations on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
A phenomenal job for Michael Guest. You finished 3rd tonight. First podium of the season. One of only 2 to make the fuel save. Worked. That extra lap of fuel on lap 54 proved to be the difference maker for the 44 camp. Parker, walk us through it. We don't have to talk to you much here in Winstel. It's such a competitive field, but this has to be a really good feel-good moment for you.
It was great. I felt like I was in a pretty good spot for a pretty good finish there, but had to keep an eye on the fuel. I was really worried. I don't know if I got above 3/4 throttle that entire last run. It was real tight on the fuel. But was able to save enough and thankfully come home for my first not only podium but top 5 of the year. So that just feels real good to rip that Band-Aid off with 5 races to go now in this season.
You've not had a bad campaign by any stretch of the imagination. The 44 camp has been a top 20 car most of the season, and that's a good place to be with a field as hard as this has been. We have 5 races to go, including tonight's race. Not having that top 5, only having a couple top 10s. How difficult has it been this season trying to break through into that? And obviously, how much better does it make the feeling of getting into this position, being able to get to the podium? How much has that struggle this season made this just kind of feel even better?
It's been honestly, like, for the most part, it's been a very difficult season. Like, I've really struggled when we run the Gen 4 car. I was very happy to see the COT on for tonight. But yeah, I really struggled in the Gen 4 car this year. So anytime I see the COT, I circle it because I know it's a good opportunity for me. Didn't think that would be the case coming into this year. I was pretty steadfast against having this COT, but very happy with the way it's been driving this year. pretty happy with the way the Gen 4's just been driving. It just doesn't really fit the way I drive the car fast. So that just has been kind of a new learning curve for me this year. But pretty it just all that just makes tonight even better. It just puts a big old smile on my face.
A phenomenal drive tonight. Obviously, you talk about third top 10 this season. You had a top 10 at Charlotte, a sixth place in New Hampshire. So, and that was a COT race. So your second top 10 in the COT, first podium this season. Michigan coming up here in the Gen 4. Pretty wide open racetrack. 4 races to go in the season. What's the vibes going into that race? Now that you've gotten through and broken through for your first podium this season, the 44's got some pace at the big tracks. We've seen that already.
This might be controversial heading into the Michigan event, but I wish I was driving a Chevy. I love that Chevy Bel Air. I thought that was the coolest thing as a kid, even though it's ugly as hell. I think that's the coolest thing ever. I don't care. I wish I was driving a Chevy next week. I
forgot.
Before I wrap this up, I just want to say, yeah, you damn right it's next week. Or dang right. My apologies. I'll pay whatever fine that is. I want to say a big congratulations to Christina. I'm very happy for her. I saw 2 cars ahead of me in the last 2 laps, and it was Christina and Emily. And I was like, you know what? If those 2 make it and finish ahead of me, I'm still over the moon because it's a good day. So yeah, very happy with tonight, and I want to say thank you to you, Bud, Brennan, Emily, everybody who puts this on. I want to say a big thank you to y'all.
A lot of fun tonight. We always have fun here in Winstel on Sunday evenings. Parker Alexander from 11th last week, so not far from the top 10 a week ago. Breaks through and got so much more. A second place here in Kansas. Congratulations on the podium, Parker. Always fun seeing on the racetrack here, and obviously a well overdue podium finish here in the Winstel Cup Series campaign. Enjoy it, and hopefully we get to talk to you even more next week.
Alrighty, thank you.
A fantastic job for Parker Alexander here tonight. The Winstel Cup Series gang putting on an absolute whale of a show. But there is a chief in town who has been phenomenal at Kansas before. Almost 4 years ago to the day, we're a month shy, Christina Ryan grabbed an ABM World Championship here at Kansas Speedway. Time's a flat circle. Things change, but they stay the same as well. And Kansas, once again, bears witness to a Christina Ryan moment for the first time in over 4 years of racing, of trying, and putting things together. Christina Ryan in a Red Bull car, a race winner in the Winstel Cup Series. Years in the making, Christina. Fuel saving. Beta your existence on Monday nights and Tuesday nights. Here, it's got to be a bit of a godsend. Walk us through it, the emotions, and everything that went into that, because that was probably, we talk about like best drives ever. This is automatically up there.
Dude, I thought my voice was gone this morning. It's gone now. I don't know that I've ever had an emotional release in sim racing that's been so strong. I've been in this league for so freaking long, and I don't even know what to say. It doesn't feel real, but we've been close. My first season, we got a second place at Talladega, and then the level of difficulty has just stepped up so much year to year, and we had so many hard seasons and so many races where we're just trying to get top 20s and keep our head low. And I knew with this season that I really wanted to do well. This is one of my favorite cars ever. I've always been a Red Bull enjoyer, of the brand, and I guess the drink. The drink's good. It's gonna taste great tonight, but oh my God, I can't believe it. I did win, right? It's over. Like, it's finally over, right?
It is 1% over. You are victorious here in the Winstel Cup Series campaign. You talk about the years that you worked on it. Obviously, we went into this in the podium in Fontana. You're like, okay, starting off strong, not a bad effort, taking it one race at a time. And then the top 10s kept coming throughout the season. Obviously, just barely missed out on the chase. A lot of drivers had really good runs through the summer. but then obviously the breakthrough here. You talk about the release, just the years of buildup on this. Where do you rank this win? You've got a lot of big wins. We've documented a lot of them throughout the last 5 years. This has to be at least, if not the top, near the top. What is the feeling for you right now going through that, and where do you rank this? Fuel saving, I would say we talked literally just 6 days ago how much you really dislike fuel saving, but that was the lifeblood for you here in Kansas. Walk us through that.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, this is probably one of my most cherished ones. I don't think it was my best race, because I was fuel saving. I wasn't doing a whole lot, but I think with the weight that this carries and everything, that I've been in this league for so long, and I've been cutting my teeth, and I've been, ran over by people. I've gotten into fights with people on here, and this season I've just kind of kept my head down and done my own thing, and it was my own decision, right? Nobody told me what to do tonight. I did it all on my own, and I ran some bonkers strategies, just trying to be a counter. I was just countering what everybody did because we had pace, but we didn't have front running pace, and oh my God, Kansas always turns into a fuel mileage race. It's just always how it is here. And I was in practice and I was clutch coasting to check and see, what I could get away with, how far I could throw it into the corner. And I feel like every time that it works for me on a fuel mileage race, a caution comes out, something happens, and we still get a good finish. But it's like, man, I've never won a fuel mileage race. I never win these. Something always happens. And I was just waiting for something to happen. And it didn't tonight. And if I could pick any race for that to happen, it's definitely Winstel. I've tried so hard, and these guys are so good. I mean, I'm racing with current pros, former pros, future pros. I mean, I have no business being here. I have no business having as many top fives as we've got this year, but I don't know. I'm just so grateful. And, I'm stepping away from iRacing soon and, going to try and do some other things with my life. And I was starting to come to, the facts that maybe I won't ever get a win in Winstel. I'll just have to live with that, and it's whatever. And I was okay with it, but now we got it. And I feel like I've won in just damn near anything I've entered now. This is the only one that I was like, shoot. But it was okay if you didn't win in Winstel, because Winstel's really hard to win in. And I know it's like a fluke win, and I just, I saved, and I didn't race my way and make 28 passes to get there, but I don't care. This is the hardest series out there besides Pro Series. And to get a win here in any capacity is just, I've found every freaking way to lose one of these things. And, oh my God, our first laps led this season too. And, I don't know. To do it in a car that I've always looked forward to since I first joined when we were in, looking forward to 2007, 4 years ago, to win it in this car at this track that's been so good to me for no reason. And I don't know. I don't know what to say, Carmen. I've been crying my eyes out. I scream my guts out. I'm so thankful. And I know Mom missed the race, but she's listening now. So hi, Mom. I love you so much. Holy cow, dude. I can't believe I won this thing.
We say so many times, luck is the intersection of talent and opportunity. There's no such thing as fluke wins. You have to have both to make it happen, no matter where it is, whether it's open wheel, whether it's stock cars, sports cars. You got to have both. We know you have the talent, and now you've had that glimpse of luck, that glimpse of opportunity to make things happen here. 4 races to go in the Winstel Cup Series campaign. Michigan coming up next, Talladega, Phoenix, Atlanta. A swan song of the ages in a car that you've adored so much, a brand I think that, at least for me, having known you for the better part of 13 years, is synonymous with you. You a Sebastian Vettel fan, you raced Red Bull a ton. You obviously are racing it right now. You've always had some token, some memento of that throughout your career. Those last 4 races, obviously you're in the moment right now. How does that just change the entire look of these next 4 races? Because you've climbed the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because I was looking at Talladega, and I'm pretty sure that's a day before I have a surgery. So I'm going to miss what I thought was my only chance to win one race before I cut back a lot on how much I run. And I was like, damn, of course. But now it doesn't matter. And, you know, I'm sure I'll run a few races here and there next year. I'm not going to be running full season because I don't want to pay for iRacing. But I don't know. I'm just so grateful. I mean, I made so many friends here, and I know I've stepped on some toes here and there, and I've been a doormat for like 2 whole seasons. I finally put my foot down last year and started kind of standing my ground. And I just feel like all of that it's come to fruition here. It's not wasted effort. You know, I worked my butt off, and I got to do it on my terms this year. And I've been having way more fun than I had any business having. You know, and yeah, to win with Red Bull is unbelievable. I'm wearing my Greg Biffle shirt tonight too, so it's just I'm all kinds of a mess. I don't even know what to say. And Parker in second, and when I passed Emily, I was like, oh, there's no way. There's no way. I don't know what to say. I always like thought I'd know what to say, but this is such a big win for me in my career, and this is such a big deal to me. That the words are completely beside me. I had all this time to sit here, but all I could do was just shake because oh my gosh, this is definitely a big one. It's probably going to be the biggest one that I'm going to go out on for a while. So I don't know, dude. I'm just thanks to Red Bull. Thanks to everybody in chat congratulating me. I know that I've been a piece of work for multiple times with this league, but it's because I cared about it and I wanted to win so freaking bad. So oh my god. Yeah. And thanks to you for putting it on. I can't wait to go back and look at it and reminisce. I don't know. I'm taking up too much time, but I appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. Shout out to Mom and David and Chloe, and shout out to all my friends that cheer me on every week. I'm already getting blown up in my DMs by everybody. I'm just so thankful, and just so, I don't know. Hard work pays off. You bust your ass and you finally do get results. It feels good. It feels really good. We're going to be having some Red Bulls tonight.
We hope you enjoy the race win. Obviously, well earned. As I mentioned earlier, no such thing as fluke wins. You have to work to earn every single one of them, whether it's fuel save, whether it's slicing and dicing through the field. They're all earned. You put in the effort, you put in the time, you sit down. It's a meritocracy. To win, you got to earn it. You earn that tonight. Your 91st Cup career start in Winstel is a race win here in Kansas, a place that it'd be 4 years ago in 33 days that you became world champion at ABN for the first time. Again, at this racetrack, how much things sort of turn back and become a circle here. Enjoy the race win tonight. Enjoy everything that comes with it. If we talk to you tomorrow, great. If not, they can't take this one away from you at all. So enjoy it. And thank you for being a part of everything so far. And hopefully the season continues in and out strong.
Thank you.
Christina Ryan, race winner for the first time in the Winstel Cup Series, 91st start. Kansas once again makes the dream happen. She's going to go celebrate in a huge, huge way, and it's all so well earned for Christina Ryan tonight. She shouted out everyone before we even had to prompt her and ask for it. So an outstanding job for her tonight, race winner here in Kansas. And that'll do it for us here from Kansas Speedway tonight. Jacob Potak, your points leader, by the slimmest of margins, 5 points over Michael Guest. Dylan Robertson third, Colin Keister fourth, Christian Budd top 5 in the points. But none of that seems to really matter. Christina Ryan, race winner over Parker Alexander and Michael Guest tonight here in Kansas. We heard from all 3 of them. We'll see Christina on the racetrack again tomorrow night in the HTL Cup Series race from Nashville. On behalf of everyone here for the Winstel Cup Series on ABN, all of Winstel's partners, everyone here at ABN Studios and all of our partners, Henderson Graphics, Advanced, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you for joining us here in the Midwest. We'll move just slightly east to Nashville tomorrow night. We hope you see you then. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Congrats to Christina Ryan, ABN's most popular driver in Victory Lane.